doesn't realize how incredible she really is. But once again, no spoilers. I'm sure she'll give you lots of insight into what goes on inside her head later. Me. Should we go to the bedroom? Lisa. I'm too hot to dry hump. Can we do it after my sweat crystallizes? Me. Well, I was thinking maybe... Lisa. What? Drip. Me. Maybe we could try to... My heart started to race, and I felt like I was going to pass out more than I already had in this $1,200 a month walk-in oven. Me. Not dry hump. Lisa slowly ripped the Tito's from her inner thighs like a child's tongue off a frozen street pole. She placed it on the coffee table and took a deep breath. Lisa, you sure you're ready? Quick backstory. I always said I wanted to wait till marriage to have sex for religious reasons. The truth was that I was nervous about my oddly large balls and my penis's resting state. I don't want to go into detail, but it kind of looks like a feeder mouse. Don't worry, when it's hard, it's perfectly slightly below average and weirdly red. Me. Well, I was thinking I wanted to wait to have sex with the person I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and I know I want to spend it with you. The uncertainty that was usually always somewhere in her eyes disappeared. We had only been dating for a few months, but the connection we had was so strong that we both knew it was going to last forever. A tear rolled down her cheek, and then one rolled down mine. I was more sure that I wanted my first time to be with her than I've ever been sure of anything in my life. Now, I'm not going to get graphic and tell you about how the sex was, but I will tell you this. Her room was 10 degrees hotter than the rest of her apartment, so my ass sweat soaked through all of her bed sheets and caused her mattress to mold. I know, a true love story. There's nothing more romantic than having your girlfriend ask you if you peed the bed or if it was the puddle from your back fat or ass sweat. You know, just like in all the good romance movies. When we realized that night that we were going to be together for the rest of our lives, we weren't wrong. We might not sweat naked together in a humid apartment in Hollywood anymore, but I still consider Lisa my family. My first love, my first time, my first real relationship, my first partner in crime, and now, my first book forward. The reason I decided to tell you this story wasn't because I wanted to brag about having sex with the author of this book, or give you vivid graphic detail about the shape and general vibe of my penis. It's because I waited 23 years to make love to someone who I didn't even think existed. Someone who would make me feel comfortable enough to take off my clothes for the first time, even though I hated my body. Someone who I trusted enough to share so much of myself and so much of my life with. Someone who could make me laugh harder than anyone I know and cry with me when I didn't even know who I was. Someone who I could talk to for hours and not constantly be thinking about my next meal. Someone who said they didn't mind my big balls because they were big, just like my heart. This book isn't just written by a funny woman with stories to tell. This book is written by a woman whose stories are worth telling. I'm so proud to introduce this book to you, written by a woman who is hilarious, dark, wise, insightful, and has always been good enough. Lisa Schwartz.
Introduction. Raised on Seinfeld. You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent. George Costanza. Entering your 30s sucks. Okay, that was dramatic. Not everything about it sucks. You're finally in charge of your own life and can do all the things your parents told you not to, like have popcorn and wine for dinner, or stay up for hours watching shitty reality TV shows while ordering useless products on Amazon Prime. I was desperate to try an LED rainbow shower head precisely because my parents refused to buy me one when I was younger. As it turns out, they were right for saying no. It was a complete waste of money, and now I shower underneath a dull, red, flashing light. As entertaining as these snack-induced comas, bachelor binges, and tipsy online purchases can be, hitting your 30s is far tougher than any guilty pleasure or useless purchase can mend. The minute you turn 30, everything starts to change. The bills on your desk get higher, your metabolism gets slower, and your friends get married and have babies. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my friends. I want the best for them, including a wedding with an open bar and little humans I can give back when they start to cry.